playoff game feel any different than a regular season start?
No, not really. I like to keep the same routine I've done all year. I think there's no reason to change now. So what I've been doing has been working, so I plan to do the same thing.
Just to follow up, is there a little bit extra juice, anticipation? I mean, even Garrett, before his start, said that, maybe there's a little bit nerves, butterflies, et cetera, and he's pitched in playoff games before. From an emotional standpoint, is it feel a little bit different?
For sure. It's going to be my first playoff appearance, so there's always some, excitement and butterflies at the same time. But like I said, I don't think it feels any different from going out there and pitching in front of the same crowd that we have all year. So I'm excited, and I'm ready for the challenge.
We'll stay over there with Bruce.
Nestor, does the prospect of bad weather impact at all your preparation or the way you're going to go about this whole thing?
No, today I'll go out there and, do my regular stuff before my outing if I was going to pitch tomorrow. And if it rains tomorrow, I'll come in and throw and, play some catch and get ready for Friday.
So you'll be ready either way?
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, I'll train today like I'm going to pitch tomorrow at 7:30. And if things do change, then, we'll adjust with that.
In the third row on your left.
Nestor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
In Garrett's performance last night, did you see anything that you could take away that would help you in your start? And also, in terms of Cleveland's lineup, what problems do they pose?
I felt like they were pretty aggressive first time through. Me and him are completely different pitchers. I don't throw 100 miles per hour. But no, I think I'm gonna approach him the same way. The game plan says we're gonna do a game plan tomorrow. Before the game, and whether we're pitching to my strength or their weaknesses. But I think the way that he approached them last night was excellent. His pitch count ran up a little bit in first 3 innings, and then he was able to get quick outs. So I feel like the way I pitch, I'm gonna be able to induce a lot of contact, and hopefully they're weak contacts.
Stay on your left with Brian.
Esther, when you look back on this year for you personally, what have some of your favorite moments been? What really stands out to you?
I want to say the first half where we were going on an incredible run as a team. Obviously, with the success that I had the first half and making the All-Star game was incredible for me. But I think the thing I'm most proud of is that I was able to make 28 starts, throw 158 innings. Coming into this year, I had 93 last year, and I didn't know how long and how durable I was going to be. So with the help of the training staff, the strength coaches, and even the starting rotation, they've done it year in, year out. So they've helped me along the way to get to 158 innings. I know I hit that 2 weeks of, injury, but it was something that was, I guess, way like above me. And I was just able to keep, I guess, that tunnel vision towards the end and finish strong.
And what do you think has allowed you to keep that kind of grounded mentality?
I go out there every fifth day, like it's my last time I'm going to pitch. I think that's how I've handled my whole career, even in the minor leagues. So for me to be able to go out there and enjoy the moment and just be part of it, I think that's what keeps me level-headed and, with that, sense of urgency to do well every time.
And on your right, Christy, in the second row.
I was going to ask about that. You talked about pitching kind of with a chip on your shoulder and that, not getting designated all the way up. How do you hold on to that after you've had so much success? What do you think about, and how does that drive you?
It's hard to say because obviously, with the sex, you start, becoming more comfortable and you start thinking ahead. And I think, as far as what I try and do is, like I said, stay in the moment. I wanna cherish every day, even if I'm not pitching. And for me to be able to do that, I think that's what's kept me, neutral every single time. So I would like to say that I go day by day, and hopefully, today is the best day I have, and tomorrow we'll see what happens.
Dan, I think, and then Meredith.
I know your focus is on tomorrow, but if there is a rain out, what do you think your availability might be like for Game 5?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna empty the tank. So if I pitch on Friday and I have to come back on short rest, whether it's 2 or 3 days, I'm gonna try and prepare in between the best I can to feel as best as I can. But if the circumstances don't allow me to, then just gonna try and like I've played this whole season with my heart on my sleeve and competitive.
I think Meredith has a question, then Ron.
You talk about emptying the tank and potentially being available if they need you Game 5. Even last year when you were floating back and forth between the bullpen and the starting rotation, you'd go up and say every day, I'm available. You spoke about the durability. What do you think has been the biggest difference in being that durable? Like, what did you do throughout the season that was the difference maker?
It started in the off season. I think I trained my body to try and withhold this innings that I pitch. The off season was huge for me. I think I prepared real well. And like I said, time and time again, the starting pitching, the staff has helped me understand, how to recuperate from start to start. The training staff and the strength coaches had done a good job with me, staying on top of me and make sure I hit every point in between those starts. So I think I got to give a lot of credit to all those guys that have helped me because I've never done this before, and I'm career high in innings. So I got to give a lot of credit to them.
And same row with Ron.
What are the challenges for you of a high contact team like Cleveland?
Yeah, I faced them twice this year. I felt like I did pretty good both times. Just try and do as much low contact quality as I can. They put the ball in play. They're a fast team. They're willing to steal at any point. I think as long as we keep them inside the ballpark and we control the running game, we'll be fine. I think our defense is pretty sharp behind us, as you guys saw yesterday. So it's gonna be good.
And you always seem to enjoy yourself out on the mound. Was there ever a point earlier in career where it wasn't like that for you, and what changed it?
Definitely. And we go back to 18, 19, and 20, those 3 years. 18 and 20 were short-lived because it was 4 innings and 7 innings, but I felt like every time I was out there giving up those runs, it was a lonely feeling on the mound. It wasn't very, very exciting, and I wasn't happy, but I was able to turn it around, and hopefully I can continue to do so moving forward. What changed it? I think my preparation, creating a routine. I think those 3 years I didn't really have a routine. I didn't know what it was to start in the big leagues. I didn't know what it was to come out of the bullpen in the big leagues. I didn't come out of the bullpen in the minor leagues ever coming up. So I think creating a routine, taking care of my body, talking to guys that have already done it for 200 innings every year. Those conversations were very valuable to me throughout the year.
In the second row.
Given where you were drafted, being an unheralded prospect, did you ever think being a front-of-the-line playoff starter was a possibility for you?
At all. I remember coming up, they would say I would be a fifth starter at best, but my role would be a long guy in the bullpen. And that's how I broke into the big leagues. I remember in 18, I was fighting for a starting spot with the Orioles. They ended up signing a couple guys at the end of spring training, and I slotted back into the long relief role in the bullpen. So I was kind of content with what I was doing in that role, and I was happy to be in that role. But as soon as I tasted what it was to be a starting pitcher in the big leagues, it makes me work twice as hard now because I wouldn't want to give it up.
Do a couple more. Greg in the second row on your right.
Nestor, you mentioned the defense behind you. How much of a difference has that made this year? And as a pitcher, how much comfort is that knowing the guys behind you can make that play?
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible to know when the ball's hit, there's always a chance for it to be an out. Obviously, you can't control anything once the ball's out of your hands. So to be able to have a kind of that comfort to know that your defense is one of the best in the big leagues, if not the best, it feels great to be able to pitch and allow contact and know that plays will be made behind you.
In the third row.
Nestor, during player introductions, you had one of the loudest standing ovations from the crowd. What does it mean to be so embraced by this fan base and the city?
It felt super cool. My parents were in the stands, and after the game, they said, "Man, we couldn't believe what we heard out there." So it was kind of surreal for me, and really I appreciated the ovation. It was pretty cool. But just to be out there and share that moment with everybody, I remember walking up to the line and everybody was like, "Oh, you got the biggest ovation," blah blah blah. Until Judge came up, obviously. But it was cool.
You speak about your parents. Is it a tale about their hard work and your hard work throughout your life and coming into the season and being so successful?
Yeah, I mean, we came to the States when I was 7 months old. They were young parents when they came to the States, and I mean, they've worked their tail off since we got here. And I mean, I gotta give all the credit to them. They've groomed me to be, I want to say, like a pretty young man that takes care of his life and is pretty responsible. So for them to do that and to give me that that freedom to do whatever I wanted in this country and to go about my business every day has meant the world to me. So I thank them a lot.
And very quickly, because we got to wrap, Bruce.
Nestor, how much do you appreciate the opportunity to give the Yankees a commanding 2-0 series lead?
Yeah, it would be an honor to do so. I think obviously everybody knows this is a 3 out of 5, and to give that second game win, it's gonna be huge for us. We're gonna have the series on a chokehold, like everybody says, and it gives us a better opportunity to advance. So for me to have that opportunity and to go out there and give the best chance that I can give to the team for a W is going to be amazing.
Had a great second half. What turned it around for you compared to the first half?
So, entendiendo, ¿verdad?, cómo empezaste la temporada, ha tenido muy buena segunda mitad de año. Para ti, ¿verdad? ¿Qué fue lo que cambiaste, que te dieron los resultados que tú querías?
Bueno, sinceramente no cambié nada, solo seguir lanzando como lo venía haciendo. Un pequeño ajuste en la mecánica fue todo, más que eso fue lo único que yo hice, un pequeño ajuste en la mecánica y seguir lanzando la pelota como lo venía haciendo. Yo sabía que en algún momento me iban a salir las cosas bien y gracias a Dios pues en la segunda mitad se me dieron las cosas muy bien.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't really change much or anything big other than just adjusting a little bit of my mechanics. The idea was to keep executing, throwing the ball the same way, the same way I was doing it when I started the season. But yeah, just minor tweak in the mechanics and have the same conviction executing pitches, and I felt that if I did that, I would start getting the results I wanted.
To your left, guys. Laura?
Were there any specific mechanical changes you made to that sinker since it's been so effective this year? And how much of that is the result of your shoulder just being healthy?
¿Algún ajuste específico en la mecánica, especialmente con tu sinker? Y si también entiende que te ha ayudado de que tu hombro está saludable.
Sí, la verdad que sí. A la hora de ejecutar mi lanzamiento, el sinker, que es una de mis mayores fortalezas, estaba dejando el hombro muy atrás y me daba bastante estrés a la hora de lanzarlo, y fue algo que con Harky y el pitching coach me dijeron, y hice un pequeño ajuste y gracias a Dios me ha mantenido saludable desde entonces 100%.
Yeah, definitely. The adjustment we'd made in my mechanic was it had to do with my shoulder. Actually, we felt that it was lagging behind a little bit, and I was putting a little too much stress on the shoulder. So together with Harky and our pitching coach Blake, we worked on that just to get her in a better position that would allow me to be more fluent executing pitches.
And third row in the middle here.
How important have the catches been to you and to your success?
¿Qué tan importante han sido los receptores del equipo para ti personalmente, para la mejoría y los resultados buenos que has conseguido?
Bueno, creo que son parte muy fundamental para nosotros los lanzadores. Ellos son los que manejan prácticamente casi todo el juego, los que llaman los lanzamientos a la hora de a la hora de ejecutar. Estudian muy bien los bateadores y tienen un plan. Ellos tienen un plan y al combinarlo con el de nosotros, creo que eso es muy fundamental para los lanzadores.
It's fundamental, to work together with them, and they have a pretty good idea on how they want to attack hitters. We have our own plan. So when you merge together the information, it's key. So having those guys back there, very important for us as pitchers. Especially when you're trying to execute pitches and they're calling the game. They have a pretty good idea of what they want to do throughout the game, and you use their knowledge, your own knowledge, and you merge out together, and usually you get good results.
In the back left.
As one of only 2 active big leaguers from Nicaragua, I'm curious how your success here in the big leagues has been received back home, and if you've seen baseball kind of grow and flourish over the last couple years because of your success and Erasmo Ramirez's success.
Tú sabes, entendiendo de que no hay muchos jugadores en este nivel que vienen de Nicaragua, ¿qué tan importante para ti es de que tú estés lanzando en este nivel, que lo hagas de una manera muy positiva? ¿Cómo se siente eso? Ser uno de los pocos, ¿verdad?, que está a este nivel compitiendo en Grandes Ligas. Y a la misma vez ha visto más interés de los muchachos jóvenes en Nicaragua por tal vez seguir tu paso y tomar el béisbol como carrera.
Bueno, para mí es muy importante y me siento muy orgulloso de representar mi país, como es Nicaragua. Como él dice, no hay muchos jugadores. Y para mí el estar aquí, poner en Nicaragua en el mapa, como decimos nosotros, se siente muy bien, un orgullo para mí. Y al igual una responsabilidad porque todo el país está viéndome, como dice él, los niños también están viendo. Y gracias a Dios que uno está haciendo bien las cosas y dar ese ejemplo, dar lo mejor, seguir trabajando y ayudar en todo.
It's so important to me, and it's I feel so proud of being here at this level. Like you mentioned, not too many players from my country are here playing in the big leagues. So to have that opportunity, it's great. And at the same time, it feels like a responsibility that I carry because the entire country is watching, and some of those that are watching are kids. So very excited that things are working out well and they can see a fellow countryman perform at this stage.
A couple last ones before Oswaldo comes in. Laura, to your left, guys.
Just throughout these playoffs, we've seen a few pitchers have issues with pitch comp just because of how loud it gets. I was wondering what your experiences were like yesterday and if you noticed any issue.
Tú sabes que durante estos playoffs muchos lanzadores han tenido problemas escuchando el sistema de pitch comp. En tu experiencia personal, ¿cómo ha sido esa experiencia para ti?
Muy importante, la verdad, porque ayuda mucho a la hora de la seña. No está uno que estar protegiéndose de los corredores en segunda, que se me van a robar la seña o no. Ha sido muy bueno. En mi experiencia me ha gustado mucho y no he tenido ningún problema. Creo que eso nos ha ayudado mucho a los lanzadores.
I haven't had any issues with pitch comp, and at the same time, I think it's really important for us. For me specifically, it's kind of it's one of those things that help you to concentrate on what you're doing, especially if you have runners on second base. You don't want guys looking at our signs or passing our sign. So in that regard, it helps, and like I said, no issues with it.
All right, Jonathan, Marlon, thank you guys so much.
Hey, Oswaldo, how would you describe your first playoff experience here at Yankee Stadium last night?
That was awesome. That was an awesome night. We won, but at the same time, we compete so much in the game. The vibes that we had in the dugout during the game, all the players supporting up, each others. That was awesome night for me.
Talk about competing. Can you describe the difficulty of that catch you made in the fourth inning?
I just try to help the team in whatever thing that I'm gonna do in that night, defense, offensive. I just try to do the things that I have to do to help the team win, and that happened yesterday. Yeah, feel so good about it.
Other questions? We'll go to Christy and then Eric.
What happened after that play? How did the fan end up with your hat and you high-fiving him?
The people think that the the fans give me another hat, but no. We have something inside the hat. So when I drop the hat to the outside of the field, and when I check the hat, it's not the thing that I have inside of the hat, and I say like, what is that? But that was my hat.
And Eric on your right, Oswaldo.
Oswaldo, you came up as an infielder. Why do you think you've adjusted so quickly to playing either one of the corner outfield positions?
I was training so much from the last year in the off season, and in Orlando with Borman, and I just talking with him like I have to be ready for the time that they need me in the outfield, And during the season too, talking with the coaches, different coaches, talking with some veteran guys like Ryan Lamar, talking with my brother all the time, like giving some tips before I played. And when the moment coming in AAA that was in low A, my first time playing, and I was like prepared, just like, yeah, I think I know the things that I have to do to play here, and just making the adjustments and these things and trying, like I say, trying to help the team.
And your brother's an outfielder?
My brother is completely an outfield all his life. Yeah, he's so good.
Greg in the second row as well.
Have you surprised yourself at all with how smooth that transition to the outfield has been?
Yeah. I'm surprised about that. But at the same time, it's like the work that we was putting on it, And yeah, I never thought that I gonna make like plays like that, but we was working for it.
And the third row on your left.
What was your reaction when you first got called up, and what did you want to accomplish, when you got here?
Accomplish? Yeah, all right. So my first reaction when I got the call up is just like a kid in that moment, It's like a dream that I had before, and I get the call up. I was so happy, so surprised at the same time. But just in my mind was like play hard, just trying to do the things that I was doing in AAA, and just to try to help the team and do the things that I know. Don't be like superstar or think that I cannot do more things that I can do. Just be me, be myself.
And Laura on your left.
You only have a few dozen Major League Baseball games, but already you're on a postseason stage and you're contributing. How do you handle the nerves in that situation, or do you even feel any?
Yeah, I think everybody feels nervous. He's not a human, but it's just too many veteran guys and too many people who play postseason before told to me all the time. Adam Hicks told to me so much, Marwin, and they just give me like couple advice to control the nervous and these things, and I just try to be there, just breathe. That's all in my mind all the time. Breathe. That's it. Yeah, it's the same game, It's nothing changed. Just to more people in the stands, but it's the same game. Nothing changed.
And the second row on your left.
Last night wasn't the first time that you've sort of run into fans while trying to make a play. Where does that sense of fearlessness come from for you?
I don't know. I think I was just excited for the game, excited for the postseason, and that just happened in that moment. I was not thinking nothing in that moment. It's just happen in the game.
And the third row on your right.
Garrett Cole spoke yesterday about how impressed he continues to be by you as you have such, great defensive skills. What does it mean to be so impressed by veterans in this league, and they just continue to be shocked? Like, what does that mean to you?
That means a lot. From the first time that I've been here, I told this before. All the veteran guys, all the people inside of the clubhouse, they give me like confidence. And from the first day that I'm here, they give me that thing that I'm part of the team, So that made me feel so happy. That made me feel play with so much confidence inside on in the field. And yeah, I feel so happy hear these things about me. I feel so proud about myself.
Do two more. Brian on your left.
Oswaldo, so did you get the card back from inside your hat?
No.
You never found
No,
it?
never.
Some fan probably took it home?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. Probably. I don't know if that was in the field too. Probably that was in the corner. I was looking around, but I don't know where was it.
What did you do when you got back to the dugout? Did you have to ask for
I just
anyone?
get a new one. Yeah.
And then what tomorrow or game 2? What are you looking forward to about playing behind Nestor?
Just the same. The plans never change. It's just be focused in the game, pitch by pitch. Just try to help the team with the things that is in my hands. Do the things that I have to do, that I know to do, and that's it. It's that on my mindset all the time.
Finish up with Bruce on your right.
Oswaldo, it's the best of 5 game series. So how important is it for the Yankees to keep it going in game 2?
That's a good question. We as a team, we always think in win, We have to compete all the time. We want to go inside of the field and win. And yeah, it's so much important, but at the same time, it's like the thing that we got in the mind always. Like, we have to go inside, do the thing that we have to do, and just win.
Oswaldo, thank you. Continued success. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Aaron, I'd like to know what turned Jonathan Loáisiga's season around. In the second half, he's been very good, and I'd like to know what turned it around.
Well, he just got off to a little bit of a slow start and then had the shoulder impingement. So once he got that out of there, I think he just came back and started pitching the way he's very much capable of. We saw it all year last year. He was one of the dominant relievers in the league. So, I think it was kind of a short sample at the start where he was scuffling a little bit. But we also felt like, it was a matter of time before he would turn that around. And then once he got through the injury, he really started pitching well for us.
How good is it to know that, considering all the injuries you got in the bullpen, that's one guy you can rely on?
I mean, it's huge. He's a great pitcher, and as we've talked about a lot, I know people feel like we have a lot of questions down there. Fair, we don't have this guy's the closer in all these certain roles, but I do feel like right now, even though we've experienced some attrition down there, that we have a lot of really talented options down there, and Lowe's right in the middle of that. And if we're going to get far in this, he's going to have to get a lot of big outs for us.
Second row on your right.
As a former hitter yourself, when there's a pitcher on the mound like Nestor who can disrupt timing, change arm slots within an at-bat, how much more difficult does hitting become when you don't know what's coming?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the first thing people talk about with Nestor, but I still think that takes away how good a pitcher he is, because in reality, he does those things as a one-off now and then. He may do that 2, 3, 4 times in a 100-pitch outing, whereas the most part, he's very traditional, and what he does is he executes. His fastball plays up. For me, as a right-handed hitter, his ability to cut the ball and really have a real presence on the inside part of the plate, but then, be able to go away and use both sides of the plate to keep you honest. He'll slow you down with the slider. I feel like his changeup has become a little bit more of a factor as the year's gone on. But, I think Nestor's success is more a product of stuff and then commanding both sides of the plate and then having, a fearless way about him on the mound.
You also mentioned the other day that you were leaning toward using a 3-man starting rotation with the possibility of rain tomorrow. Would that change anything with your plans as far as the starting rotation goes?
Well, depending on how long the series goes, it would have to. Yeah.
And the third row on your left.
Are you concerned that you may have to play 4 games in a row, and how would that factor in not only the starting lineup but in the pitching rotation?
Well, it would probably affect the pitching rotation if you went 5 games and you had to play 4 in a row, sure. The lineup, no, we play. It's what you do is in baseball is you play every day, so shouldn't affect that. That's more who we're going up against, matchups, things like that. But pitching it, excuse me, could change a little bit what you do.
Brian up front, your left.
You talked about the legend of Nasty Nestor a lot this year. What do you think it is about him that draws the fans to him, that makes him so appealing?
I think his personality. He looks like you and I. You feel like you can relate to him. Feel like you could probably do what he does. You can't, but he in a lot of ways was an underdog, was a low round pick that wasn't a prospect necessarily, that's kind of found his way to, being an all-star pitcher. So that I think story people can get behind. He's got a way about him when he pitches, as far as I think everyone gets that competitive, fearless. He's out there playing a game and having fun like you designed it. He lives that. And then I think people then the little things he does with his delivery from time to time, people can rally around that. So I think he's just very relatable.
And we'll stay here with Laura.
Nestor said he would be comfortable pitching Friday if there was rain, and then even potentially pitching Game 5. Is that something that you would consider?
I would consider him being an option in that kind of scenario. How much you'd have him there. But with this team, they're lefties and stuff. For if you had him in an inning scenario, a couple inning scenario, that would be pretty valuable. But if he goes Friday, hopefully we're not in a Game 5 situation. But if we are, we'll see. He would maybe be in play, but I wouldn't not necessarily as a traditional starter.
First row on your right, Meredith.
Kind of to piggyback off of Brian's question, Nestor was in here not too long ago, and he said every time he goes out there, he tries to make it like it's the last time he's going to pitch, approach it like it's the last time he's going to pitch. How do you just kind of describe his demeanor on the mound and that edge that he pitches with?
Yeah, I think he combines all those things as far as, he's had to scratch and claw for everything he's gotten. He's risen from the ranks of non-prospect to prospect to, when he first started coming up with us, it was, kind of on the shuttle, bulk out of the pen, spot start here. And all along the way, he's continued to become more and more of a polished, better pitcher. And then I think he combines that. I'm going to treat this like the last game I may ever pitch. He's competitive as heck, but he has a lot of fun doing what he's doing. And I think it's a real. I think people can learn a lot from Nestor about the way he goes about things. Like this is the highest league in the land. Now you're in the playoffs. You're on the biggest stage, and he just has a way of, you know, and I think it simplifies it, is he's super competitive, but he knows how to have fun playing the game. And I think sometimes you can lose that fun part of it when you're playing at this level, and that's important to have.
We'll stay there with Eric.
Aaron, what does it say about his regular season that he was able to put himself even under consideration to start game one?
I mean, you know, he was an all-star the whole year, and I think you go back to the second half of more than the second half of last year. You know, when he entered the rotation last year, he pitched like an all-star. So this has been, you know, this has been going on for about 16 months now, where he's been one of the best pitchers in the league. So, yeah, I mean, he's put himself. You always feel good now about handing the ball to Nestor.
And then what are the challenges of facing Bieber?
Great command. You know, we've seen his fastball velocity tick up a little bit as the season's gone on. You know, he's not necessarily overpowering in that manner, but you watch his delivery and his arm stroke, so he creates deception, which I think allows his stuff to play up. But then, you know, he can really command it at an elite level. So, you know, he's one of the best pitchers in the league for a reason, and I think it starts with really having elite command.
Bruce.
Aaron, what is it like getting the first one? And do you think it sets the tone or can set the tone for a series and even the whole postseason?
Well, I mean, you always hope that. But, you know, we also, and whether we won or lost yesterday, you know, we're in the turn the page business. This is, you know, you enjoy that. A playoff victory is, you know, a big deal. And especially in game one of a series, to grab it is big. But today it's you move on from it, and we got to work out today, and now it's on to the next one. And, you know, series, playoffs can go all sorts of different ways. You try and rack up wins as you can.
And Ron will stay there. On your Ron.
Did you have a chance to review the Donaldson fly ball and your thoughts on the play?
Weird play. He thought it went over the fence. We're shaking hands at first. The music goes off. I think just a weird play.
Any need to discuss?
No.
Okay.
In the second row on your left.
Thinking back to that Oswaldo Cabrera catch last night in the fourth inning, what did you see on that play? Were you expecting him to make it all the way in foul territory with the fans right there like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have the perfect view of that play, so I can, you know, down that left field line, I'm right in line from where I stand. So, you know, I'm as that ball's going up there, I'm with a slice on it. I'm feeling like he's got a chance at this ball. Felt like he approached it really well, was very much under control. Then you never know how the crowd comes into play and things like that. So just a really under control play, and, you know, more of the same of what we've seen ever since we brought him up.
And second row, we'll do two more. Second row on your right, Greg.
Just how different of a feel is there this year with the defense that you guys have out there? I know it's been a trend all year, but just pretty staggering from last year to this year, the improvements you guys have made.
Yeah, no question. And you know, yesterday we get off to a little bit of a slow start. We make an error there in the first inning. And as that game unfolded, I think you really saw our defense kind of take over and show what they've shown all year. Such an important part of the game. You know, JD makes a couple good plays over there at third. Rizzo was great all night. You know, obviously the plays in the outfield, but that's who they are and what we're capable of. And, you know, if we're going to get to where we want to go, it's going to be an important ingredient.
I'll finish up on the third row on your right.
Before this season, Oswaldo Cabrera had played over 500 minor league games in the infield and had only played one game in left field before you guys called him up. I'm curious, what about him specifically made the organization trust that this 23-year-old kid with almost zero experience in a corner outfield spot would be able to kind of be up to the task in October in Yankee Stadium?
Yeah. All right. Well, we love his makeup. So in spring training, we felt like if we ever, if we had a need in that kind of utility type guy at any point in the season, even though he hadn't experienced even a ton of AAA yet at that point, just his makeup suggests that, oh, this guy's going to be able to handle this. Then he had injury during the year, so missed some time, and when he came back, he started playing really well. Didn't play a ton of outfield, but did some work out there. So it was a little bit of, let's do it. When he got up here, and the need all of a sudden arose for a right field start, it was like, player development felt like he would be able to handle it. Myself and our staff, again, going back to what we think of his makeup, felt like he's not going to be overwhelmed by this, even though it may not be perfect. And, he goes out in that first game, I think it's the first or second inning, and robs a home run, makes a great play. I remember going to the foul line and is in right field, makes a play. Then the need arose in left field, and we're thinking, okay, it's left field in Yankee Stadium. What's that going to look like? And it's been like more of the same. Like, credit to him. He's very mature. He's a very confident baseball player. He works really hard. He processes information really well. You've seen that, I think, offensively too. I feel like he's made really good adjustments as these couple months have unfolded. He's just a really good player, and he plays the game with a lot of confidence, with a little bit of a swagger to him, and he's a really good worker too. Like he gets after it, and it's not afraid.
But that decision to have him try that out is not something you would have done with every guy in the minor league.
No.
That's something that's specific to him.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things is, because he hasn't played a lot of infield. Like, this is a really talented infielder. This guy can defensively really play the infield, all spots. I think there was some comfort in knowing that he had at least done a fair amount of work in the outfield, even though it wasn't a lot of game reps. And the feeling was that he moves naturally out there and things like that. But yeah, then it was the makeup of saying, let's rip the Band-Aid and put him out there, and the rest is history.
Aaron, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
What's up? What's up? My name is Spike Lee. Here with my man O'Neal. We're at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena in Nueva York. The New York Knickerbockers are playing the world champion Golden State Warriors. And right now, there goes Steph Curry doing his drill.